Are you amongst the millions of cancer survivors who struggle with fatigue? Well, I'm going to let you in on a secret today. As it turns out, it's not just the amount of sleep you get after cancer that matters, it's the quality that counts. So if you struggle with fatigue or any type of sleep issues like trouble falling asleep or staying asleep or even waking up still feeling tired, be sure to watch this video till the end because I'm going over some really important tips to help you get better quality sleep at night and how it can change your life. So what does high quality sleep even mean? Well, basically, you need to be entering a deep sleep at night. I'm not going to bore you by getting into the different sleep cycles, but basically there are different stages of sleep, and one of them is known as deep sleep. Adults typically need around 1.5 to 2 hours of deep sleep a night. So if you're sleeping 7 to 8 hours, that's only 20% of the night, but it's crucial for your health. You see, during a deep sleep, our body repairs tissues, boosts immune cells, and even processes stress. So this isn't just important for cancer survivors, it's essential because deep sleep affects everything from your immune system to your mental health. But listen to this. It's also been proven that during deep sleep, our body works on lowering systemic inflammation, which we know lowers our risk of getting cancer or having it come back. I had really bad sleep a few years ago, so I know what it feels like. It's miserable. So after researching how to get a better night's sleep, I learned that there are some simple things you can do to ensure that you're entering a deep sleep at night. First and foremost, especially as a cancer survivor, you need to start making your sleep a top priority. Think of your bedtime as the most important meeting of the day. You wouldn't watch another Netflix episode if it meant being late for a work meeting. And think of prioritizing the quality of your sleep as an extra thing you can do to help keep cancer away. So tip number 1 is to have a consistent bedtime. This is really important because your body's natural circadian rhythm loves consistency. So by going to bed at the same time every night, you're telling your body to fall asleep at that time, and eventually your body will just know when to wind down. This doesn't mean you have to go to bed at 8 p.m. every night. If you're a night owl, you do you. Just choose a bedtime and be consistent. Now this is super interesting. Deep sleep also helps to regulate your body's natural melatonin levels. Now melatonin is a hormone that not only helps you sleep, but also acts as an antioxidant. So research studies have shown that melatonin can slow the growth of cancer cells, especially in breast and prostate cancers. Crazy, right? Now I don't know about you, but when I have trouble sleeping, it's really hard to shut off my brain. I start worrying about everything I need to do the next day, or everything that happened 5 years ago. It's normal for your anxiety levels to go up when you have insomnia. So what I personally find helps is to do a brain dump right before bed. This just means writing down everything that's on your mind. Everything from a to-do list to how you're feeling, what went well that day or what didn't. Getting your thoughts out of your head and onto paper is an effective form of stress relief to help you relax before bed. Speaking of stress, you may be familiar with the hormone cortisol, also known as the stress hormone. Well, your cortisol levels are also regulated by sleep. So if you often have insomnia, it can lead to high cortisol levels, which over time weakens your immune system and creates systemic inflammation. 2 big risk factors for cancer recurrence. So tip number 2 is to get used to writing down everything that's on your mind, but try to actually write it down rather than entering it into your phone. And I'll get into why this is important in a minute. Now tip number 3 to help you get into a deep sleep at night is something we're all guilty of from time to time, especially those of us who love late night snacking. Unfortunately, eating too much before bed is one of the worst things you can do for your sleep quality. For example, let's say your bedtime's at 9 p.m. and you haven't eaten since dinner, so you feel like having a snack while you watch your favorite show, so you decide that eating a slice of pizza is a good idea. When you do this, several bad things happen. For one, your body has to spin up all kinds of metabolic activity just to digest the food. So then your blood sugar spikes and then it drops. So you have this blood glucose fluctuation going on. And you also have a disruption in your melatonin production because your brain is saying, I want to get ready for bed, but your body is off the rails with all kinds of things going on. Not to mention the fact that if you eat too much before bed, you're more likely to gain weight, have acid reflux or heartburn, and wake up in the middle of the night. So ideally, you want to stop eating at least 2 hours before bed, or just have a light snack that's easy to digest, like yogurt. Or even better, walnuts, almonds, or hazelnuts actually contain melatonin and magnesium, 2 things that help to calm your body. So have a handful of these nuts before bed, if anything. Now tip number 4 may be a bit controversial, but it involves doing things to make you breathe easier through your nose rather than your mouth while you're sleeping. By making it easier to breathe through your nose, you can avoid the nasty side effects that come with mouth breathing, like a dry mouth or throat, or sleep apnea or snoring. And if you're a mouth breather, it can make you feel tired throughout the day because it affects the quality of your sleep. So if you're ever having trouble breathing through your nose before bed, you can either try to take an antihistamine, and this doesn't apply to everybody, but a lot of us have allergies to different things like dust that can make it harder to breathe through your nose. Another thing you can do is use a nasal saline spray. Or some people do mouth taping where they just basically tape their mouth shut at night. I've never tried this, nor do I recommend it, because I think it could actually be dangerous if you can't get in enough oxygen. But some people swear by it to get a better night's sleep. Okay, moving on to tip number 5, which is probably the most important one, and that is to maintain an ideal temperature in your bedroom. We all know how it is. You're laying in bed, you're sweating, you're tossing and turning. Your body needs to cool down to sleep. If you're too hot, you'll likely be restless and won't go into a deep sleep. They say that the best temperature for your bedroom is around 60 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit, which is cooler than room temperature. So if you're lucky enough to be able to control the temperature in your bedroom, cooler is better. But even if you can't control the temperature, there are some basic things you can do, like using blackout curtains that will block the light during the day so your room doesn't get as hot. There's also temperature-controlled mattresses now, which I've heard are well worth the investment. Another way to make sure you enter a deep sleep at night, and this is tip number 6, is to create a calm sleep environment. Obviously, if your bedroom's a mess and it's a reminder of all the things you've been meaning to do, like the big pile of laundry in the corner, it's not exactly calming, and it can increase your stress levels before bed. So try to keep your bedroom a clean and cozy place. Another absolute must, in my opinion, are blackout curtains. I find they really help me to stay asleep for a solid 8 hours, especially when the sun comes up early in the summer. They say that light is the biggest disruptor of sleep, and I believe it. Speaking of light, tip number 7 is to limit the amount of blue light or screen time you have in the evening. I know this is way easier said than done. Honestly, it's something I struggle with, but it's recommended that we limit our screen time for the last hour before bed to get a better quality sleep at night. And if you start to dim your lights an hour before bed as well, it helps your body relax. Now listen to this. I mentioned earlier that getting quality sleep is essential for our immune system. Well, this is because it boosts something called autophagy, which is like cleanup and repair for your cells. It enhances DNA repair, tissue repair, and prevents cancer. So sleep truly is an incredible form of medicine. But something that will destroy the quality of your sleep is having stimulants too late in the day. This goes for both coffee and alcohol. If you have a cup of coffee at 4 p.m. and your bedtime is at 10, since coffee stays in your system for up to 8 hours, that means that at 10 p.m. when your head hits the pillow, you still have a quarter cup of coffee in your system. Some people metabolize caffeine differently, but for me, I know that I can't have caffeine past 12 p.m. or I will not sleep as well. And as for alcohol, it may help you fall asleep faster, but it's one of the worst sleep disruptors. Alcohol makes you dehydrated, makes your heart race, and reduces the amount of time you spend in a deep sleep. So tip number 8 is try to avoid stimulants late in the day. But something else you want to avoid right before bed is exercise or anything that stimulates your nervous system. During the day, our sympathetic nervous system gets us ready to take on the world and tackle all the challenges of the day. But during the evening, your parasympathetic nervous system will calm your body down and get you ready for bed. So tip number 9 is to help calm your parasympathetic nervous system before bed. And a great way to do this is by reading a book. This is the perfect way to calm your nervous system. You can also meditate, take a bath, go for a walk, but it's said that if you do something relaxing for 60 minutes before bed, it will greatly improve the quality of your sleep. It's crazy how much sleep is foundational to everything we do, especially after cancer, to maintain a healthy weight, support your immune system, and reduce inflammation to keep cancer away. Yet in our fast-paced world, many of us aren't getting the deep, restorative sleep that our bodies crave and need. So if you're feeling tired throughout the day and you think you might not be getting enough deep sleep, try some of the things I've gone over today because sometimes making small changes can make a big difference. Thanks for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.